There we go. We're recording.
Please don't spike the camera.
I'm right here. You're just like straight into the.
Don't stare at the camera.
Stare over here. Right here.
All right, you look good. That means I look good, hopefully. And
Oh, sorry.
I mean, that logic is flawed.
okay, you're in focus. That means I'm possibly in focus. Or
Possibly.
hopefully.
How's that? You need to move over this way.
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
And we're recording. Cool. All right, how does the GoPro look? GoPro looks good.
Yeah?
Actually, it's really
Can you make me look tanner?
I can.
possible?
Just not right now.
Yeah, that's in post.
Yeah. We're actually a little bit blown out, so we'll have to fix that. All right.
Love being blown out.
So
Sorry.
this is the Just for Today cast. My name is Nick Dodson. I am the producer, not the host or creator, who's usually here. And
I'm JP.
I'm still here.
I'm JP, and I'm the co-host. Thanks for coming in. It's nice to have you here. No. Yeah, no, I'm always in the seat except for like one time.
yeah,
That was
last
nice.
time.
That was nice.
So on Just for Today, we, well, I'm an addict. Scott's definitely an addict. You're an addict in recovery. And we talk to people in the community and people in general from, I guess, our perspective, because that's the only perspective we have.
That's the only one we care about
It's
as addicts. It's only my perspective.
and today we are here with a pillar in the community,
Oh, boy.
Mr. Neill Timmons.
What's up, everybody? Glad to be here.
I've never heard of you. No, I'm just kidding.
Good.
He's
That's
a pillar.
probably a good thing.
Neil, and this is just a quick runoff of what I know about you. You own a sober house in Nashville, or just one,
Just one.
and then some more in Florida.
5 houses in Boynton Beach, Florida.
Wow. And
Boynton.
you are 7 years, 6 years,
8 years.
8 years.
sober.
Wow.
Oh.
And I believe you just picked that up recently, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
On August 30th.
Okay. 8 years clean, sober, whatever you want to call it. It's it's a thing.
I know,
It's,
I know.
And Neil is, from what I know, and I know him from a place that we meet sometimes, where there's a book and there's some steps talked about sometimes.
The rooms? Can we call them the rooms?
Yeah. I don't
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
As long as
That was just way.
you have to
I know him from a place, a magical place where people come together and they have books and
and I would
literature.
say Neil is one of the more bookish people I know when it comes
Well,
to
like he's. So,
he has a beautiful,
I like to read.
Yeah.
I like to read.
He has a beautiful, like
I'm on my-
I don't know what's more famous, you or your book, because he has this beautiful leather bound. It's like someone made like a leather dust cover.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got a book duster.
It looks like the Necronomicon a little bit.
That's what I was going for.
So it's
Yeah.
weathered, and it's made from skin. And is that? I don't know if I like this guest.
Anyways,
I have many leather-bound books, and my apartment smells of rich mahogany
so that would be every single time.
every time.
Every single time we've started with Anchorman.
Yeah, I know. I'm going for it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think. Well, yeah, this is your first time.
Yeah.
Nick over here,
What?
he's tired of it.
Me? So, like, from like an outside perspective, if we hear like the same jokes every single, like, it's not the same jokes. It's actually been different every single time. Well, Scotch. I love Scotch.
Scotch. Here it goes down into my bed. Except I don't love it anymore.
Well, you don't have to lie.
No, I don't.
I think well, there's no way that I wouldn't not still. I don't know.
Scotch it up?
It's so hard to talk about like in that way. Like I would say there's definitely a part of me that would still like it, of course. Could it be right?
I mean, I love heroin.
Yeah.
Oh, you too?
I love lamp.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love heroin.
So yeah.
Do you miss it?
No, man, not really. There's so much negativity directly attached to those drugs.
Well, see,
when I think heroin, I don't think, that feels so good. I think like it's dark and no one's here and it's very dirty and I hate myself. That's what.
Oh, but the dirty was the good part. No, I'm just kidding. No, the thing is,
not that kind of dirty.
The thing about it is that mindset alone to me is really like a pinnacle point to get to help you get as far as you've gotten. I mean, I'm 8 months sober now, and I have that mindset where when I think about it, because you do, you'll think about it. That's the addict in us. But when I think about it, I don't think, oh man, that would be so nice right now. I've gotten to that same mindset of, like I remember the trap house. I remember, just smelling myself, because between the clear and the H, I was not showering for 7 days. As long as I was up, I wasn't showering.
Yeah.
Hopefully someone poured water on me while I was sleeping. But there's like a stench. I had like built up dead skin because, you know what I mean? Like I was gross. And looking back, that's all associated with it to me. So just what you said really resonated with me, because there's parts that I've said I've missed, like inadvertently. I haven't been able to stop it.
Yeah.
I miss certain things about it. But
sure.
like I'm learning to not need that to cope. So yeah, that was huge right there. That reminded me of what's partly keeping me sober, because I've been offered. I think I was 2 days out of my program. 2 days out, and I went over to the ABCCM in Montford, and they gave in the parking lot, not the ABCCM, in the parking lot, some guy offered me some clear.
Yeah.
And I about beat the shit out of him.
How dare you?
I was like, I just told him I'm sober. I'm like,
I'm just trying to make a living, man.
30 days sober, and he's like, oh, congratulations, you want to hit? I'm like, what the fuck? And so that mindset to me is a big part of keeping me sober, is remembering that it's not good times. You don't look back on it fondly.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was huge. I don't know. That was kind of a tangent. Sorry.
I feel like that's the same state of mind that we're trying to reach in recovery. Regardless of what your path is or whatever, we hopefully get to a place where I can't somehow convince myself that it's all going to be butterflies and rainbows and going to be awesome.
Right.
Like the truth is, every time I shoot heroin, it's fucking terrible.
It's a nightmare.
It's so bad. It's awesome for like 4 minutes, and then like the rest of the time it's just so terrible.
Yeah, so that's what I was trying to get at with the
there you go,
put
buddy.
it closer, I guess. With if I would like scotch, and I would say of course I would a little bit, but I'm so flooded with like, dude, when I associate my use and drinking with so much absurd amount of pain and whatnot, and I'm trying to get farther away from that feeling. Like it doesn't really matter. You still get that little bit of goodness, and that's still really real in me. Where I would be like, of course I'd fucking love it, and then further digest that. Of course I would love it. Of course it would be followed with losing my family, possibly dying. I'm like, fuck it. And that's.
But when's that gonna happen?
And I started laughing in the middle of you talking, and I feel really fucking bad.
Oh no, I was like, fuck you, dude.
Because Scott's over there. I forgot to tell him that the board falls apart when he's writing.
Oh no.
And if so, when you hold up the board, you got to do it over there, so I can't see through all the equiment.
All right.
Yeah, and also I have really bad eyes.
Basically,
so I might not be able to read it.
I think
all.
your eyes are
basically,
great.
don't be a lazy
Oh,
bitch.
thank you.
I'm just kidding.
So, I guess before we jump into the middle,
Here?
the beginning's a great place to start. And I don't,
Unless you
I don't know.
Tarantino it.
Yeah, those fucking Tarantino. Yeah, I love Tarantino.
So
you
here now.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up about an hour and a half away from here in Greenville, South Carolina.
Gross. Okay. I mean, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when did you find your problem for the first time?
When did I first start drinking and using, or when did I go like, wait a second?
I mean,
when did it
however
become
you
a
wanna-
problem?
So for me,
Yeah.
I can tell you the second I took a drink, and I was just
a wee lad.
yeah, I was 12, 13. It changed something completely
Yeah.
that second.
Or
you know?
activated.
And we've talked about this
Yeah.
before. Like, I think some people are genetically engineered like that.
Yeah.
Engineered, but genetically predispositioned like that. Like I am, and I think you can still acquire that later on with trauma, heavy use, and that whole that perfect, storm of shit. You turn into an addict. But
Mark Wahlberg,
was
George
there?
Clooney. Perfect
Did
storm.
you have one of those moments, like instant, like when I had this, my life is completely different, or was it one of?
There
How
was
did it happen for
definitely
you?
like an aha moment, right?
Yeah.
And I think I was looking for it from like age 4 to 12 was trying to find that.
You were out on the corners
love
like, you
talking
gotta.
Somebody's got to have something out here for
I got
me.
my
please.
allowance. Can you get me a time?
I love talking to you about it. That's because you explain it so well, so accurately. Like that's how it was me. Of course, I was looking for that.
Yeah.
That's why it clicked so hard, because there was a gap, there was a void, there was something for it to fill. If I was great beforehand, it would have been like, hey, my hands are kind of tingly. It wasn't like, oh my god, where's my life been this entire time?
it.
It's not like everything was great beforehand. Anyway.
It's
I mean,
like
dude. I mean, anything that I did, even before that, video games, I did to the extreme. Sports, I did to the extreme. Fucking Magic the Gathering, Pogs, all that nerdy shit, I did to the extreme. And it was just like
getting pale
must
to the extreme.
get outside of self. Like I just even at like 9, I was conscious that I wasn't okay. That I
Okay.
didn't fit in, that I didn't connect, that like life was hard. Which life should never be hard for a 9-year-old, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Unless it's like, I don't know, they're a shitty person at
Yeah.
9.
Little asshole.
Like, you little shit.
I probably was a little asshole.
You probably
in all
you
fairness.
look like it.
Yeah, I look like I was a little asshole.
You
I'm
look
an
like-
asshole now.
I
so
mean, you perfected
I try
it.
not to be.
I have yet to be on the receiving end, but I've seen a heated Neill a couple times. Not an angry Neill, just a
Ew.
heated.
Yeah.
So can we call you Hot Neil?
I'm sure. He's
So
already
anyway.
yeah.
Some
Real quick.
What up?
What
What
up?
was your favorite?
Anyway, what was your anyway?
favorite deck build?
My favorite deck build?
Oh,
Magic.
God.
Forest.
Forest. Okay. All right. We're done. We won't go any further.
Mine was a level 7 mage with conjuring abilities.
Dude, fuck off.
I didn't get super into it for too long. But anyway, so right around 12, man, I remember I had a few of my buddies over. They were already like smoking pot or whatever. I haven't done anything, right? I was actually a really good kid up until this point for the most part.
Sure.
No, I get that feeling.
Yeah,
too.
I get it too.
Yeah.
But my dad wasn't at home. We like went into his liquor cabinet. I remember this is one of the only times I did like controlled drinking. So I poured 3 shots back to back to back of his vodka. Right, went boom. Waited like a minute or so. We're all chuckling and giggling.
Like,
hit the other 2, and dude, yes, like this aha, holy shit,
Warmth. Yeah.
went over my whole body, and I literally remember being like, I'm comfortable, like I can connect
Yeah.
with, like, I was laughing, I was making jokes, like it was the fucking best,
Oh, shit.
and it was like, yeah.
Do you remember the taste
This is it.
from that first time? Like just going like the burn.
I'm trying to remember.
Because
I
mine
don't
was wild turkey.
think I was more.
That was you?
Yeah.
Wild turkey.
I think I was more excited about the effect. I think.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, because I'm saying, like, you feel the warmth afterwards, right? After as it's going down. I remember that, just the feeling of, it's like almost powering down but powering up at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's like, actually, it sounds like the Death Star. when they're going to do why did it always do that? The Death Star, they're powering it up and they go right before it shoots, but it shouldn't be like a, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just thinking, but that was my feeling. It was. I remember before any of that, I took the shot of wild turkey. Actually, it was a swig. I wasn't as controlled as you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're doing great.
But and I just almost threw up. It was like spicy, right? You had wild turkey for the first time.
Mine was wild turkey and Coke. and it was
You were doing blow that early?
It was
At 12.
it didn't follow to 15, I think.
Okay.
Or no, 13.
Yeah, I was.
Fuck, it was really close.
Yeah, I was like 12 or 13.
Man.
Well, we just hit dark spot.
Wild
for
Turkey and Coke. It was like you mix those together, you can't taste it. It was even the 101 stuff. Like you were like, and
Yeah.
this isn't the alcoholic in me.
Yeah.
Alcohol tastes bad no matter who you are in the beginning.
Yeah, I don't like it. I still don't like it.
And it's one of those combinations that it's like the pineapple rum and
Oh yeah, like. But
or coconut rum and pineapple, where
See,
it's liquid. It's dangerous.
We were
because you
worried.
can't taste it.
We were worried even though the parents had been gone for an hour and they were going to something at my friend's house where we did it. We were worried still that they were going to walk right back in the door when we had the wild turkey out. And we're like, so just take a shot. We didn't have time to mix drinks, buddy. So you started at that young age knowing that you were probably just something was missing. You were kind of detached from fitting in, which is common for addicts. Yeah, and not to take away from it. But so you started there and you tried drinking for the first time. Was that connected, like you trying it, or was it more just like mischievous kids trying it, and did that set it off or something?
No, I had no idea really what was going to happen. It wasn't even really my idea. All right, it was it was the other guys.
And blame it on the other guys.
I swear.
Mine was my cousin. Mine was my cousin, and he was like kind of rednecky, and he was like, they were watching NASCAR. And this he's a married in cousin. Like he's not part of my blood. I will, no.
Is he gonna watch this? Because that was a big diss.
Yeah. Fuck him. He's racist.
Hey.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he's extremely racist, and I can't stand his guts because of it.
Hey,
and,
fuck you, buddy.
But it was a part of a family that I got my brothers from, my half brothers, and they're amazing people, and their mom is amazing people. But anything further than that,
the black sheep.
It gets real. My brothers are the black sheep because they're the ones who aren't racist.
Oh,
anyways,
okay.
Before we get too much into my family, and off topic.
No, I've never heard about this. I like it.
Yeah, he took me behind the shed, and if it depends on who was on, that would be really bad.
Yeah, I saw Scott's eyes go.
Lots of trauma victims in this show.
Speaking of black sheep,
and he's like, you ever tried
wild turkey?
Wild turkey and Coke? And I'm like, no. I'm like, but it sure beats watching NASCAR. But like,
it actually makes NASCAR fun.
And
it all makes sense now.
He gave me one finger and one finger of Coke into a, like, of course, like a red plastic cup that he had gotten from somewhere.
Right. The trash.
Not the Solo, but like, like the ones you get that you can only wash like 2 or 3 times before like everything, like the plastic starts degrading. And all that.
Yeah.
Like the business cups, like the giveaway. Yeah. And he gave me that and I took it back and I'm like, I don't taste anything. I want 2 more.
Am I supposed to taste it? Yeah.
And then I didn't taste anything and then it hit and I was like, I want half a cup. Yeah. Like now. Get that in me now. Drink half a cup. He's like, well, if this little kid's drinking half a cup because he was like 16, I got to drink half a cup. He gets tanked, visibly drunk, and I'm probably slurring my words or something, but not really. He gets in a shit ton of trouble. They smell it on me, obviously, but I remember I'm like, this is what normal feels like.
Yeah,
I feel normal, and that's the word that resonated in my head, and still to this day is that it felt. I felt like I could talk. I felt like I could exist. Everything didn't necessarily go away. I just didn't. I felt like I could take it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You okay? So thoughts? No. How did you? So you went from there. I mean, I know that feeling, and I'm sure any addict knows that feeling. Albeit, like mine started out with. I mean, I dabbled in it at this age and stuff, but my real problem started when I was injured in the Marines and was prescribed pain medicine. I felt normal physiologically, but also physically. Yeah. So the pain went away, but also the pain of trying to fit in went away too. So not to get too like metaphor, but that was like my downfall. And I mean, I fit in. I was in the Marines. I mean, you fit in.
Yeah.
Obviously, they make you to fit in.
Yeah.
So once I had that and I felt normal and I didn't have to worry about it anymore, then where do I go from there? And it only gets more. But so you started at what you said 9?
No, at 12. 12 is when I took those shots.
The shots. Oh yeah, that was us at 9. Sorry.
And that was it, man. And a few days later, I thought that went so well. 3 shots went so well that I would just grab the bottle and just start going to town.
I mean, naturally.
I blacked out. This was like after my dad went to sleep, right? So I remember I was talking on the phone with these 2 girls, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Liquid Courage.
Liquid Courage,
Yeah.
the good stuff.
Yeah.
At some point, man, I blacked out. I have no idea what happened. Apparently, my dad picked me up off of the floor of my room in the middle of the night. The phone was like, this is back when there were landlines, so it was like, bah, 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 beeping off the hook. Puts me in bed. I wake up the next morning. I'm still shithouse, hammer drunk.
Yeah.
And I was already grounded. I said I was good, but
right.
Maybe not. But I was grounded, and I had to go stain a deck. And so I went down there, and I started staining, the stairs. And then, for like 36 hours straight. Yeah. It was ferocious.
You were borderline alcohol poisoning.
Yeah, no, I was right there. Yeah. And
that sounds
3 days later, I drank again.
Well, yeah, because
why wouldn't
you had a 3-day hangover.
Yeah.
So what do we do? The hair of the dog. Like, oh, you know what'll fix it? Getting drunk again. And that's the same thing with the other drugs. I mean, you said you liked heroin.
Yeah.
Did you shoot it?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so
not till towards the end, but yeah.
Yeah, right. So that happened with me too, right? Yeah. I mean, that just made it all go downhill.
My habit was so backwards. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Shot heroin at 12.
No. I'm not that guy. No,
I'm not. Oh, that guy.
Yeah. No, I try not to be.
I hope that guy.
I know.
No,
if that's you,
like you drank at 12. I shot at 12.
Oh,
that guy.
That guy.
I try not to be.
Don't be that guy.
Please, yeah. But
that guy.
No, I started shooting heroin and then went to pills. I didn't take them. I shot them.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, well.
It's infinitely more difficult.
I still think that's a step up. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. I mean, it's more work.
In South Carolina, that's a step up for sure.
Oh.
In other places, that may not be.
Yeah. In LA, then it's not a step up.
Oh, you mean like step up like fancier?
I mean like stronger, better.
Yeah.
More effective.
Yeah.
That's exactly why I did it, because the product that I was getting wasn't consistent ever. I was in San Francisco and like
really?
And it was sometimes it was good, sometimes it was fire. Like I couldn't get a consistent product, and I didn't put much effort into the dealer culture. I really didn't. I was just like, I went to the Tenderloin, I got my shit, and I got out.
Yeah.
They were getting popped every other day, so there was a new guy each time. But I did get a business card at one point, and this is my.
No.
Have you seen that?
No, stop.
I'm not kidding. Oh, fuck.
Heroin dealer.
I'm trying to remember where it is.
For tar, press 1.
I might actually.
For gravel, press 2.
Real quick. Okay, Scott. There is a Gears of War 10 in there.
Yeah, I know where that's at. Want to look in there and see if they have
I think there's.
in there?
So
What?
it's a $100 bill on a card,
Stop.
and it says what you need when you need it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's really something.
it is. It is, isn't it?
That was probably back when Vistaprint wasn't even easy to get bid. He had to go somewhere and be like, "This is what I want."
He actually traded some product for him. If you give me
That'll be
$5,000,
$300. Here's
No,
4 bags.
it's a black tin.
Okay.
It's not in that drawer.
All right, do the show up on it.
I like that.
I'm really glad you saved this. This is really exciting.
So,
Real quick, why are you on here?
Yeah.
Because you have 6 years sober.
It's 8.
You
but it's
started.
fine.
Eight.
I know.
Yeah, he
wow.
keeps trying to take a couple
He's
years
like,
from me at school.
He's like, I know you
got sober
relapsed.
last week, and more importantly, you started a business that not only helps the community but is successful, and that's why I wanted to have you on.
Cool.
Because we're trying to be successful.
But we're still back to your story. This is part of the intro. Our intros are terrible,
We've got to work on scripting.
I enjoy
one.
it. This is great.
and I'm scatterbrained.
I'm just here for the ride, man.
Yeah.
This is my new high. No. So anyway, we didn't find the Gears of War tin. So you
Scott
have
looks very disappointed.
yeah, you have a business and you're successful, which is like what you want to do.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
you're also helping the community. And did you start in Florida?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what brought you up here? Well, you just came back to the area, or what?
Yeah. So I mean, so I'm originally from South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
South Florida is, I think, a weird place in general, but particularly from somebody who's from South Carolina.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And like, what was keeping me down there was the community and my business and everything was great there. But I wanted to come back closer to home. I wanted to start a family, which I do. I have an 8-month at home. It's amazing.
You also have a wonderful wife.
And an amazing wife.
Her in
Didn't have the baby by myself. That would have been weird.
Yeah.
Arnold. Remember that movie?
Junior.
Junior with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, they got to do a C-section.
Is that what was going through your head?
Dude, and when did that come out? That was
But
like in
how?
90s. Like, is that going to dilate? Ow.
I know people that could get a baby out of there, but
Mother of God. I want to meet him.
did you meet her in Florida?
I did.
You did. Okay, so she's from Florida as well.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
I thought timeline.
Neither of us are from Florida.
Oh,
Nobody's really.
I know. He's not listening.
I don't, dude. This is why I don't do this.
All right, so I'm going to write it down for you. 8 years sober.
Yeah.
Right?
8.
Originally from Greenville, South Carolina. What made you go to South Florida?
Yeah, so I went to a treatment center up here in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we should mention such places, but I went to a place in North Carolina. They were like, "You're really fucked up."
Yeah, you can mention them. It's just
okay.
the other the organizations that aren't associated with anything.
Yeah.
That's why. But
so
yeah.
it was Pavilion in I don't even know what town in North Carolina. 42-day place. It was
Mm-hmm.
great. I almost got kicked out of there for reasons I still don't understand, but probably just being myself. And they're like, "You're really fucked up. We highly recommend that you go to a long-term program."
Really?
Yeah.
How'd that? All right, I'm sorry.
They didn't say. They said it better than that.
Of course, but our brains here.
It's like, I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Got it.
Oh wow, I don't
Okay.
fit in anywhere.
Yeah.
No. So mine, it was at the VA. It was a 28-day program,
Mm-hmm.
right, Scott? 28 days. Yeah. So 28 days. Oh, that's like the Sandra Bullock movie. I love movies, but so they were telling me, they gave me the lists of where to go from there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually luckily in one of the things where they're like, okay, well, you don't need to go to this place called First at Blue Ridge. It could be a year or two, because I work better with independence.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that comes from being in the Marines. So how did that felt good to me, saying, oh, okay, well, I don't have to. Not looking down on people that have to, because we all have different journeys. So it made you feel like, wow, I'm really fucked up?
I mean, no, dude. Like I was like, yeah, let's
do it.
let's do it.
Okay.
I knew I was really fucked up. I mean, even you lay aside like the drugs and alcohol, and like, dude, I got like kicked out of every institution that I ever went to for non-drug related. Several of them for drug related,
Okay.
but for non-drug related shit too.
Girls?
No, I wish I could say it was
Yeah.
because of the girls.
Yeah,
no.
me neither. Mine,
Dudes?
Because I was an asshole.
sorry.
Just,
Yep. Yeah.
like
I
wouldn't
was-
listen to anybody. It was like, fuck you. Wouldn't show up to class. Would just break every rule that I possibly could.
Yep.
Okay.
Except
So-
for the girls' parts.
Good idea you didn't go to the military.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was a conversation at one point.
Yeah.
but that would have been
They would have fixed that.
that would have not been
Against your will.
good. Yeah, yeah.
We will break you.
I smoked a cigarette and
Good
got
for
kicked
you.
out for that.
Oh.
No, I
Where?
didn't just leave and smoke a cigarette. I was tirelessly pouring through stuff without ripping it apart. I wonder where that fucking tin is. I want that card.
Okay, the irony of that. Tell me, do you see the irony of that?
That he can't find.
Being sober,
Mhm.
but he was literally just searching, like he was carpet picking.
Like ADD squirrel.
Where is it, man?
And so he's like, oh, I gotta have it.
There it is. Oh no, that's good.
For a dealer's card, too.
Dude,
That's actually
we need to go to a meeting tonight.
That is, I didn't even think about that. That's bad.
I was letting you do it, so it would be that much more impactful when I called you out on it.
It's still in my head, too. I'm still in my...
So they did. They told me that I'm really fucked up and that I should go back down to Florida, which I did, and it was like 4 or 5 month long program. And I was actually just talking to this guy. It's really interesting. I reconnected to him because he was like, there was a tech that worked at this treatment center, and he interjected at like the perfect time where I probably was going to go smoke crack. Right? Not a fan of crack. I just knew it was readily available around the corner. You know? And I had like 4 months sober, hadn't done anything bookish or really any real work other than, just basic therapy stuff.
Meetings and stuff or whatever.
Yeah, and that insane thought popped into my head. And here's what's fucked up. This is the insanity, right? Is when that thought comes and they're still like, no, it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
But I don't fucking
care. Yeah, dude.
Because this is bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That will make this okay for if it was crack 30 seconds.
So did you?
It's generous.
And this was this was a quick moment for me. Did you equate use with death and just move on and not care? Like,
no, I never equated use with death. When I should have, because I shot heroin. You know what I mean? Like, there should have been like a close association there, but there never really was.
Right.
I didn't stop because I was like, oh no, I'm gonna die. It was like I fucking hate the way that I'm living. I was scared that I would survive. Actually,
well, that's
that I would keep getting high and I would not die.
Yeah.
See, that's what I was saying. It's like I thought that possibly, if I use or drink, I know that I'm going to die, like pretty quickly and awfully. And
the association is there now, but back then,
is this guy had a party or what?
Yeah.
And at first, it was like that's kind of scary, and then I was like, oh, I don't care about that.
Yeah,
I didn't care about that to begin with. Like,
that's
and then,
not a concern.
Which means it really
it's a bonus,
right? Yeah. Exactly. That was, and like this sounds so fucking dramatic and ridiculous and whiny teen. Like I was like, I wouldn't mind it, to be honest. Like, let me check out early, please. This is miserable.
Yeah.
And let me get high before. That sounds awesome.
Sounds like a great way to go.
Another great thing I found out about myself. I'm like, I want to die.
Yeah, that was that. I'm picking up on that.
It wasn't struggling.
Check that box.
It wasn't the drug use. It was that I not only was I okay with death, I was like, I want to die. I was like, gotta deal with that motherfucker now.
Yeah, that's a dark place to go because I had that. Let's just dive right in.
Hey, you want to take that now? I'm gonna go look for the card.
Yeah, do that. Oh yeah. Speaking of dying,
comes back, shirt off, sweating. What the fuck is going on right now?
I found it. It's so good. No, but the thing is my use ramped up after some loss, like in my life. I lost my father, who was my best friend, and I had lost things to using. Yeah. But that thought didn't come in until that final loss where I was like, okay, the mind was, I don't give a shit if I die or not. Like, if I keep going, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. If I die, it's over.
Yeah.
And that made me careless in hiding my stuff. From people, I just stopped caring. Like, I was like, yeah, what's up? Look at these. Like, I started wearing short sleeves again. I don't know, like tank tops. And I was like, you see this?
But Starbucks is like, it's all awkward.
Yeah,
you're like going to grab your drink and everyone's like, oh.
I go to grab my drink, but then they're really looking at me when I'm getting
Dude, if he was going to Starbucks and ordering a $4 coffee while shooting heroin, you, sir, had a very different experience than I did.
I also sold, but I would get like the real part is when they say look away is when you have that cough. Actually, you'd get like a water from Starbucks.
There
is what
you
you do.
That
but then you're also getting 900.
Just so you can go use the bathrooms and shoot out there.
Yeah, and it's clean water.
I have to say, it's like we went to Starbucks for a different reason,
right?
Like as us as addicts, because you can lock the door and it's always a one hitter,
and that reason alone is when Starbucks started saying no public restrooms in certain areas because they would when I did security in LA to a place, we actually took care of the Starbucks that was on the corner of the building as well. And so I had to go like while high at work, not armed security, but I had to go clear out the active users from there that were making scenes and stuff. I had this lady spit in my face one time.
Did you give them a business card as you were
I
escorting them out?
I wasn't that
got
level.
you.
I got you.
That level of idiocy, you mean?
That level of slinging, you know? Like, yeah. I did have the number for the Russians in LA for coke, though, and that was terrifying.
The Russians.
Yeah, no, and I'm saying that is I look back
doesn't
on that.
sound good.
I look back on that, and it was like Uber for coke. Like,
Yeah,
and
I've
and
heard
it
that before.
terrifies me because I get in the car, ride around with them, and if I didn't have the money or I was wrong or something, did something that's suspicious, you're fucked.
Yeah.
So I look back and how careless I was with my use is what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
And I know we keep pulling away from your story.
It's okay.
Don't pay attention to that fly. You do
Okay.
that again, I will leave. But
Please don't leave.
please don't leave.
I can barely keep it together.
So, and I'm normally the one that brings us astray. So this is kind of like a train wreck right now.
We have the two tangents working together.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I'm a tangent person.
Yeah,
so.
I know you are too.
You're a tangent, but
Should hear his share. Well, I mean, never mind.
thank you.
Oops.
I like Neill.
I do too.
I like Neill.
Real quick. So we'll get back to you, I swear. Talking
Am
about
I the host now? Did I become the host?
Just keep us on track, bro.
Tell me more.
two things.
Go on.
And this is going to segue further in after your story. So my entrepreneurial,
Yeah.
I guess side came out when I was a chef for 15 years. So being an entrepreneur never really wasn't a thing, and I didn't know I had that in me, like that
Yeah.
want and drive. But it came out when I was a user in San Francisco. I wanted to create an app called One Hitter, and it was a map.
Stop it.
I was getting
No.
yes. I was close in getting to talks with development with people that also thought it was a good idea, and it was so fans of like Larry David and like Seinfeld and then Junkies would look for us on a map. It would say this is a one-hitter bathroom. It's cleaned regularly. You only have 10 minutes before this person comes in and kicks you out, or
It's like a rating system.
It would have a rating
Yeah.
system and whatnot. It didn't get off the
Jeez.
ground.
That's
But the place where I went to get
Interesting.
high was the Four Seasons, because I had a
La-di-da.
yeah.
And you thought I was fancy for Starbucks.
Yeah.
and is because I had a messenger bag. And
Oh
in San
yeah.
Francisco, I can get anywhere I wanted to. So why not go to the nicest place and go into a bathroom that no one's going to bother me for an hour? You know?
So you could nod out.
Yeah. And then they
been in
knew
here
my
for 4
name. I would wear a
hours.
polo before. I would have a polo in my bag that I would wear. Put the polo on. They'd say, "Hi, Nick. How are you?" They'd assume that I was delivering stuff in the building to bankers and blah 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 blah.
And you walk in there all sweaty. They just
Yeah.
assume you're on a bike
On
or
a bike.
something. You know?
Didn't you have a bike?
I had a fixed gear.
You
Yeah.
had a fixed gear. So like he really committed.
yeah.
But all right, you're done.
I'm done. All right.
Back.
Okay. I don't even remember where I was at.
I know.
So I was just saying I went to this long-term place and I hadn't done any work, and this guy who I just emailed recently thanking, it was kind of weird. Like I talked to his wife randomly, but it doesn't really matter. But I was literally, so I that thought popped in my head. I was like, I don't fucking care, but I really didn't want to do it. You know, like I wanted to be sober. I just, you know, when that thought gets into your head at 2, 3, 4 months sober, like it's a wrap, you know. So I fought it for as long as I could,
White knuckle.
and then of course, you know, 45 minutes later, I'm reaching towards the door of my apartment to walk out. And so, you know, I was in IOP. I had a job. I had cash monies, so
Yeah.
primed and ready to go. You
Damn.
know? So I'm reaching for the door, and the fucking door opens, and the guy's standing right there, and I'm like, "Hey," he's like,
Yeah.
"What's up, bro? Are you okay?" No.
Whoa, dude.
Yeah, like, dude, you can see it
Whoa.
all over my face, right? Because
Yeah.
I saw him, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh no.
Instant guilt. You
Oh,
don't
yeah,
have
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
You don't have it.
Yeah.
But God, dude.
So, dude, he sat me down. He talked to me for the better part of an hour, but you know, without mentioning kind of where that conversation went. I mean, you know, I hadn't done any real work on myself, not from lack of trying. Just the people that I was around were not giving me good direction, and he told me maybe I should get around some different people. You know?
You know, it's so simple
Yeah.
when someone tells you.
Yeah.
But when you're in it, you can't do that on your own. You can't say, "Oh man, I got the bad surroundings. I need to get some place to, especially that early. But when someone else tells you, like, what the, you know what? Duh.
Yeah.
Thanks, bro. Because you weren't going to get there on your own.
Yeah.
Were you?
No, I mean, I was going to go smoke crack on my own. That's what I was going to do.
Yeah. We did establish that.
I knew that.
So it was amazing timing, man. And
Yeah. Is that ties into higher power belief, right?
Yes. I mean,
just a little bit.
just the way that it played out was
Yeah.
like incredibly perfectly timed, you know?
Like,
Perfect.
Either that.
Like I even got to experience like obsessing for drugs and like committing to the action of to go and getting them.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a direct interruption at the absolute last perfect moment. I mean, yeah, dude, it's hard not to have a little bit of belief in something's going on.
The only later it could have been is if like right at the corner.
Yeah.
Dude walked by like,
Just punch me
Neill,
right in the face.
Neill, what are you doing? What are you doing?
yeah.
Get over it. Let's go to
By
Starbucks.
then, I would have probably sprinted and smoked the crack. Yeah. So that would have been too late for me.
My precious.
When
Exactly. Nailed
I
it.
got the image of like a golem.
That's
like,
it, yeah.
But with like a crack pipe.
My precious.
I'm pretty sure we actually look pretty close.
Yeah.
I know that if I'm actively trying to fight, if I am or I'm not, I'm going to.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time.
It's every single time, and that's what I heard from you. And it's one of those things that it's really hard to explain to somebody that that I've noticed, and I'm not going to speak for anybody else except for myself. If in the situation of if I'm trying to not, basically, which means if
you're fighting it,
if I'm actively fighting a yes or no, if I'm not going to or am going to, it's a numbers game.
yeah.
And it's where all it takes is one time. It doesn't matter how many times I've said no.
Right.
The one time yes will lead me into a best
Spiral.
case scenario a couple weeks, and then to rehab, or worst case scenario years, death, blah blah blah.
And so that just sparked something. But barring divine intervention, like you were lucky enough to have.
Yeah.
So you have 8 years. 8 years. Remember.
I was like, I don't have 8 years.
No. I'm telling you, Neill does.
I have like
'cause
10 months.
You've given him like 6 months.
But thanks. I have 8 years. You have
7
2
decades.
weeks still.
So, have you relapsed before?
Before that moment, yeah.
How many
So
times had you tried to get sober? before?
Probably 2 real attempts.
Okay.
A couple
Oh,
other
wow.
maybe like little things, but each time like right at 30 days. You know?
Yeah.
And here's the thing is I fully intended on staying sober longer. You know what I mean? It wasn't let me just take a break for a little bit. It was like, this is fucking terrible. I can't do this anymore. There was some clarity there. Somewhere around 30 days, that clarity would always fall away from me. And I would pick up. And then the clarity would return about 5 minutes after picking up. You know what I mean? Like, wait! Shit!
We all, I mean, like, I think I heard you say this the other day at a certain place at a certain time. The rooms. That
A magical place.
With literature and fellowship.
when you said I'm done. Oh my god.
Neil's my friend.
This
right.
This is fun.
This is
I'm having
doable.
fun.
That go on when we.
You got Nick to wheeze. Oh, that's great. Good times.
I'm
Great
trying to
oldies.
say something serious.
I
guys.
know. That's why
I'm
we're
saving
doing this.
lives.
Hey, I'm O negative. I save lives. Oh, I can't even donate anymore.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You can't.
All right,
you're
go
not
on.
supposed
Say
to.
what you were going to say.
Uh,
A podcast on ADHD.
Squirrel.
when you said that you were going to stop those times, you genuinely meant it. No matter how.
100%.
Yeah, 100%. So did I.
Mm-hmm.
And I had almost a 2-year period of white knuckling, and it was
kudos.
a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
You're no good to anyone when you're white knuckling like that. Like,
I was doing something. I did do meditation.
Oh, little something.
Yeah, and that was what I leaned heavily on. And I made sure that I was doing something all the time, like work. And this is where a lot of the development for this company got started was during that time. And it was a lot of untreated mania as well, as I refused to take my bipolar meds. I was scared shitless of lithium.
yeah.
And didn't want to take it. when every doctor who I've ever been with is like, you need to fucking take lithium. like there's textbook cases, and then there's like you on the front of it, like lithium. This guy needs it. Like, yeah. I thought that it was gonna. My fear was it was gonna change me. I was gonna be changed and not know it. Like that.
So when you were doing drugs, you were changing, but knowing it, you had control of it.
Right, but drugs are cool though.
Right. No, but I'm saying with lithium, it's like you take it and it's almost the unknown, which scares the shit out of addicts as well. The unknown, we want to have control, which is a myth as well. Like if you think you have control of anything, you need to start hopefully divine intervention will come and tell you.
When that story happened, when that guy walked in at the perfect moment, where were you?
I was in the apartment at the treatment center.
At the treatment. Oh, so they had apartments.
This is Florida.
Florida.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, man, Florida. I hate Florida.
Yeah, me too. Glad to be here.
How many houses do you have in Florida again?
5.
5. How often do you have to visit?
Pretty often. I mean, like 4, 5, 6 times a year. But I got a great crew down there.
That's good.
They're really pretty
awesome.
too. I've looked at them on your website. They're
Thanks.
really well done, and like I've been through the meat market. You know, I've been through treatment. I would say in treatment, I think it's 4.5 times because I got kicked out. But I've been through like programs, like probably like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
I've been in Oxford. I've been around the community.
Oxford.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I know. Now that I said 4 seasons, I probably sound super fancy.
Yeah. I went to primary school.
And I do have to say
Oxford Housing.
Yeah.
that what you've put together is from someone who cares, and not just listen. I've seen bleeding hearts a lot too, and they don't do well either.
Yeah.
But you are someone who cares, but who also knows how to progress at the same time for yourself and for the people who are in the house. And I think it's a mutual relationship. It has to be. Like if they're not doing good, if they're not working it to a certain point, and you got that constant rotating door.
Yeah.
You know, which you kind of do.
Well, hopefully.
You know, to a degree. I mean, you want them to get out eventually anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully you want that progress and a revolving door and good, but the turnover time needs to be...
Ideally, like, 6 months to a year
Yeah.
as opposed to, every couple months.
Yeah, like...
Right. Which is, not on you, but
No.
you provide, what is it? What would you call Becca? Becca's coming today, by the way, to do breath work with me. But you
nice.
have like therapists or
We just brushed over that real
I can just
quick.
tell you.
Hold on.
If you just...
Yeah.
yeah.
You don't have
Yeah.
to sit here and guess, and I'll respond.
Yeah,
Why don't
that's
you
what I'm-
explain your business.
Well, I'll
to me?
say a couple of things,
That's
man.
what I was
So you
gonna
say
ask.
like the bleeding heart, and then also. So I was a bleeding heart when I first opened these houses, dude. I had no idea what I was doing, dude. I had like a year and a half sober when I opened my first house. I went to
Why?
hopefully he's not listening, but I went to a terrible recovery house where there was almost no structure, no accountability. Everybody was getting high. Several of the guys that I live with are dead now. Not a single one of them, other than myself, stayed sober and that went through that house. It was bad.
Yeah.
How does that exist? And I honestly
And
don't
it's
know.
prevalent.
Yeah, no, I
How does
get
it,
that.
Like, because where I've been, like, if someone gets high, I've seen entire
Well, they
houses
weren't like
collapse.
just like smoking crack in the den, you know what I mean? But
Right.
What do you want for
the,
dinner? Some
the
crack?
management just sucks. They wouldn't do supervised UAs, or they just weren't paying attention.
Oh, yeah. No,
You know what I
it was
mean?
more of a money pit, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean maybe, but even this is also something that people think that recovery housing is like a moneymaker. It's charging $200 a week, man, for
Right.
for these guys.
Some of them do more, and the ones...
some
and-
of them could be that are like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month,
Right,
sure,
but the ones that are for money making are the ones that don't put in effort into their staff or supervise UAs because that's paying more. So they're cutting all the corners and letting people kind of do what they want and just collect that money, not caring.
Yeah.
It sounds like you care
yeah.
about people's recovery and people you don't know. What is the process of getting into like one of your houses?
I mean, It depends on, honestly. Asheville is a little different than Florida. We've got we've been around for almost 7 years in Florida and established tons of treatment center relationships. But usually we'll get a call from a therapist or a treatment center.
Okay.
And then we'll ideally take that guy on a tour. When he thinks that he's checking out our house, we're actually checking him out. You know,
I like your style.
You know, we are very 12-step oriented place. So a lot of the interview process is really kind of gauging where they're at. You know, we're different in the sense we don't take anybody who can pay. We take somebody who actually wants to do the work that we're laying out for them. That want the structure. They want the additional support around meditation, spiritual events, etc. That want to get engaged in recovery. Because unfortunately, I mean, I was not that guy. I would not have taken me, you know, for a really long time.
Right.
You know?
Once so you accept people at different points in theirs. So
But the truth is, I mean, up here in Nashville, like half of our guys are scholarships straight out of detox. Right?
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people aren't willing to do that. They want them to be sober for a month or something like that.
Right.
But I'm really just looking at their
Go survive.
Yeah.
I'm really just looking to see if they want help,
They
if they
want it.
really want this, you know? And they can be a fucking shit show, because I sure as hell was.
Yeah.
But if there's like a little bit of heart and desire to get well, then like, dude, let's do this.
Yeah,
you know?
like nurturing, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like when you're interviewing them, you look to see if there's a spark.
Yeah.
What I guess I'll refer to as sobriety spark.
Yeah.
But if you do that, then you're going to want to grasp that and just nurture that and incubate it.
Yeah.
We've called this an incubator for ideas. But no, that is such a I don't want to say admirable, but it's more refreshing to hear the avenue that you guys take, because it's basically you have to have a month, and if you meet the criteria.
Yeah.
So you're more looking into someone's being and saying, are we a good fit? That's awesome, man. Yeah. So what are your plans for these? Like future plans, like being a business model, you gotta have.
Well, I'll just say, so at the beginning, kind of like how I do in Asheville now, but in the beginning it was just like that. Almost everybody was scholarships. Mm-hmm. You know, it was anybody, you know, who had a little bit of that spark and needed help, you would take them. And then, you know, you fast forward 9 months later, and I'm like, I think I'm losing money, man. Like this isn't sustainable, you know. But it was cool. Like in Florida, it was, you know, I got a good operations manager, and then he helped kind of be like that balance. And you know, now I have no operations manager here in Asheville, so I'm losing the balance again. But it's become a little bit more.
I'm available.
A little bit more business focused, you know, to where we're not going to take every single scholarship. You know, we're only going to have a few at a time, and we've managed to make it to where it is profitable, and
that's
I can
good.
live off
I know
of
what scholarships mean, but explain scholarships and how you do them and how they work with you.
So a scholarship will typically be a waive of the entrance fee and a waive of a couple of weeks rent.
Okay.
You know, support the guy and getting food stamps and, you know, trying to find a job, like kind of right off the rip. Most people don't need more time than that. Most people who come in and their scholarship, they get a job within a week or two.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and they're able to kind of start paying rent.
And one of the things that I've noticed, and so in Florida, there is a massive recovery community.
It's probably the biggest in the world, I would imagine.
I think we talked about that on another show. About there's an area in Florida that actually per capita.
I thought you said area.
That's where our houses are. It's right there.
Yeah.
Right in the thick of it.
And Arizona as well.
Yeah.
And
they do have a big.
Yeah, I went to rehab in Arizona this last time, and it was so like I hate sounding like a I don't know.
Just do
Rooms big book guy, but like it is when the community is that concise and diverse and together, you know, it really makes all the difference. You know, like just there's a group that I know that's having issues that's the only of its kind in this area. That in other areas it's so cool when it has that culture surrounded by it, but trying to establish that culture is hard. It's rough because that was what drew me to that group was because when I was in Arizona, that group was fucking badass to go to.
Yeah,
it was super fun, and it was there. A lot of the tenets of that group were laid back, and the reason I'm talking about this was there's every different group didn't necessarily have to do with drug specification. It had to do with how that group oriented and functioned. God damn it, I can't say any of these.
Help them out.
One group with a certain name functioned a different way from another group, and you had advantages, disadvantages. Some rules were loose where others were tight, and and you had every variable of that. And I heard, Asheville has a great recovery community, which they do.
Yeah,
they do. But I was thinking, like Arizona, because this is the first time I had gotten into these groups. So I'm like, it must be like this everywhere. Nope. Lots of old dudes and angry junkies that want nothing to do with you except to make sure you're following the rules. And in some places, man, having houses in Florida, which just sounds like a dream, business wise.
I got a question.
Having to be in Florida,
please.
What kind of car do you drive?
What?
No,
I drive a 2013 Audi Q5. Yeah.
Good job.
Thanks.
Good businessman.
Was it used, certified
That doesn't
pre-owned?
matter. That doesn't matter.
I'm lost. What is it?
What I'm saying is, a lot of people that have businesses, they associate the success with the car you drive and stuff. So it looks like the Florida businesses, you said you're starting to make money, but not like a money maker. Like we were saying, I'm not saying that you're going that route, but
you're not quite
you're
Lambo
getting the
status,
fruits. You're getting the fruits of your labor.
Yeah, and I mean, look, any business, if it's open for 7 years, it better be profitable. You know what I mean?
Unless
Fuck are you doing?
Unless you're insane, which potentially.
But listen, I made $0 my first 2 years, which is how a normal business
That's average.
should
2 to 5.
function.
2 to 5. Yeah.
You know, it was at a little bit of a loss, right? And the third year, it made like a little bit of money. You know, but we've figured out. The thing is, man, I used to think that if you make money while you're providing recovery services, you're a scumbag, right? Which is a stupid belief system.
It is.
It's a stupid belief system, right?
I agree.
Because I literally can't help people without making a profit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like my profit enables me to be of service.
You have to live.
To my residents.
You have to
know
live.
What I mean?
Right.
Well, and the profit goes back into the business.
Yeah.
To provide better service.
Absolutely.
And that's not possible, you know.
So we're going backwards a bit. I'm sorry. I'm a fucking nightmare.
It's okay. I'm having fun.
What gave you the idea?
Tarantino status for sure.
See? I knew it was going to go that way.
Is it Tarantino is really talking this up?
So what gave me the idea to open houses?
Like, can you you explain?
I started to point towards it, but go ahead.
Okay. But dude, I had a really well-worded question.
Yeah, that's fine. So we'll get to that when it pops back up. So what gave you the idea to start the houses? You started pointing towards it, but...
Yeah. So, I mean, I had a really bad experience in recovery housing. I stayed sober in spite of it. I mean, truth be told.
Yeah.
Right? It was bad.
Yeah.
It's really bad. And, dude, I was talking to my buddies who were like, I went to the treatment center and stuff with, and they were having, like, similar experiences at other houses. And I was like, why?
Yeah.
Why the fuck is this not a place that's actually conducive and like a good environment to help someone?
Yeah.
You know, why isn't this happening? So I opened, again, a year and a half sober, had really no business sense or not that much sobriety either.
Right.
I just knew I wanted to make a good place that helped people, right?
Yeah.
I learned very quickly that's a great starting point, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot more that goes into it. Right?
Absolutely.
Like when I opened my first house, like I didn't have a house manager. I was like, I'll just stop by there every day. It'll be fine.
No.
A week later, I was like, I really got to get a house manager.
You're going
you know?
on Indeed as hiring, not go looking for a job.
So I mean, it was a steep learning curve, man. I mean, really, that first year or two was like learning how to set up the structure to where it like really supports guys.
Yeah.
And how to add in additional services and support, and how to run a house meeting where we actually get down to, the guy connecting to what's really going on with him and what he needs to do. I mean, it's been, yeah, man, it's been a cool ride, like just trying to figure it all out.
And by doing what you do, have you found that it helps your sobriety
Yeah.
At the same time, I know that's like it's a duh question.
Yeah.
I mean, it
But-
is for us, but like,
Well,
Right. That's why I'm asking because like, it's not always painted on the wall. You know.
so it's not my personal recovery, right? My personal recovery is still separate from from what I do. I still do all the stuff that need not be mentioned, but book things.
yeah.
The Necronomicon.
But yeah, man, I mean, it totally helps. I mean, I'm immersed,
Yeah.
in recovery as a result of this work, and I do love it, right? I'm passionate about it. I love it. It doesn't get old. And it's definitely supported me.
What would you do if it did get old to you at one point? Like, do you have like an optional exit strategy in case? Or
I mean, I've thought about it, man. I've been trying to figure that out because I don't know if I'm going to do this forever.
right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, you can ultimately automate it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm good at it. I mean, Florida. I mean, I still talk to my guys every day, but like, I'm not there.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, it's a good question. I mean,
Finally.
I do own the houses down there, and so
Yeah.
I'm like kind of indirectly in real estate. So I might do something in real estate, but that sounds so fucking boring, in comparison to what I get to do.
But there's so many options. What if you get into real estate? There's so many options you can do. You can actually help other houses start, like, because you have that connection and knowledge. So I mean that would be a different avenue for not just a regular real estate agent. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'd probably do that, and I'd probably do some kind of nonprofit work.
Yeah.
Probably what I would do.
That's good.
Because I can't get motivated without like a big why, like a reason to be passionate.
Like you just talking about real estate right now, like my mind's
Yeah.
turning off. Yeah, like I you can't
Sounds
you
so
can't do
lame.
that, dude. Like you won't stay.
Yeah.
I don't.
Neil's in real estate now. Oh, Neil's drunk. Oh man, shit.
Oh, Neil's in real estate. What a shame.
What a
He
shame.
made it so far. Did you ever figure out the words on that question?
It was the question you asked. No, but it was worded like in my mind a million
Way
times
better,
better.
probably,
It was
yeah.
Explain like the first time you used or drank, how you got the idea to start your business.
Oh, like that.
This is where I was, but like
moment.
yeah.
Dude, I remember I was actually talking to another buddy who was in a sober house, right? And I was like, dude, why don't we do this? Because he was bitching about his sober house, and I was
Yeah.
like, bro,
Let's start a band.
I'm pretty sure everybody's high over here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I'm like the only one.
I
I'm the
feel
only
like
cleaning.
we could do this a lot better. You know?
Yeah. And you did.
Yeah. And what's funny is he ended up running sober houses. He didn't own them, but he ran. He ran sober
But
houses.
he's in there. Yeah, that's awesome.
Now he's become a lawyer.
Do you boring.
Snazzy.
Do you try to hire recovering addicts?
Every single one of the guys that work that are either house manager and assistant ops, they're all former clients, former residents.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not even just
The guy who
addicts.
runs Florida down there, Evan, shout out, you're awesome.
Evan.
But he was a resident. Then he was the assistant house manager. That was the time we were doing assistant and real deal. He was a house manager. He was the assistant operations manager. He was the operations manager, and now he's really the Florida program director.
That's awesome. PD
program
man.
director.
Yeah.
Did that come with a raise?
That's his new title.
Did that come with a raise?
It's just the operations manager, but it sounds better. It sounds like he was promoted, but
What was his name again?
Evan
Evan
Kuhlen.
Fight for a raise, bro.
He is
You
all the
deserve
time.
it. You deserve it. Say, I don't just get a title bump. I always hated that. When I was in radio, they gave me like a title bump. I was like promotions assistant, and then I got promotions director, so PD as well.
Yeah.
And I was like, so money?
So
Money? Can I have some more? But they were like, no, screw yourself. Go do more work for less. Corporate America.
I completely forgot to ask this. War stories doing your business with people.
do I share war stories?
No. Like it's. I know we're getting that mentality. No, like clients losing their shit. Like what's? I know you can't go into too much specifics, but like.
Well, his name is John Doe.
Yeah.
His birthday.
His social security number.
And, okay, I would say this is the one I'll ask is the first one that really kind of possibly put you on the fence. Like, am I
doing the right thing or something?
did you ever have that moment like where you're like, maybe maybe this is too much.
So the opposite of the
You know.
aha moment, the more
Yeah.
like oh shit
Yeah,
moment.
yeah, we did have a moment like that, man. So about 2.5 years in, we had this guy in there, chronic relapser. He overdosed, I think, 15 times prior, right?
Yeah.
You kind of maybe see where this is going, right?
I'm seeing it. I'm feeling it.
So good kid, man. We thought he was doing really well. One afternoon, doors locked. Nobody's hearing anything. Eventually kicked down the door, and,
Yeah.
and he's already gone.
Oh no!
He overdosed, and he died.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was like, holy shit.
And you were
Right.
there for that.
I wasn't physically at the house, but I mean, I was there.
Yeah,
soon afterwards.
Right,
yeah.
right.
And dude, after having to call his parents and tell them what happened. Yeah.
Did you catch anything for that?
No.
No.
I mean,
No,
they-
you caught hearing.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
for that,
yeah,
I
yeah.
know
what
what
you
from
mean.
the parents.
Yeah, I
'cause
know.
yeah.
they got that we were a good place and that,
Okay.
and that we were doing our best. And again, their son had been struggling with this for years, so I don't think they really held us liable. Thank God, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, after that, it was like, fuck, dude.
Yeah. That's some serious
Yeah,
shit. Yeah.
I don't know if I can do this. Like, I there was at least a little bit where I felt a little responsible. Luckily
Yeah.
I didn't fall into that trap ttoo bad, but
Yeah, because that could have been another rabbit hole.
But I mean, what ended up coming out of that was like a little bit of humility, right? Because we were well-run house back then. We did a great job, but it was like, who the fuck do we think we are? Like that couldn't happen in our houses because we have a good community, and great staff,
Nothing
So
will go wrong here.
So it led to like a little bit of like, a shift in the culture, a little bit of humility, some changes in some processes. We were one of the first houses in South Florida to get Narcan throughout all of our houses, train every one of our residents, right? As a result of that, we've had 2 overdoses since then in the last like 4 or 5 years. Residents actually saved these 2 guys.
Oh wow.
lives.
Yeah.
But we
They Narcaned them and they did CPR.
had a similar story like that with Scott.
Yeah.
Scott did the same thing. So that's always that makes me think of a success.
Yeah.
Like because obviously it's not going to erase your loss, but
Yeah.
it does make you feel good. We're making progress
Yeah.
from what I'm gathering, and I can see and actually feel like the emotion that you had right there. And I'm sorry, I know. I just want to say, I'm sorry because I know that's tough. I've been
Yeah.
there. Scott's done that, but on the
Yeah,
bright side,
actually on that, just with my experience, having Narcan available and having people trained how to use it. Actually, a couple weeks ago, I was able to save a girl's life.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, she was dead. Same thing. Bathroom door locked. It was in a girl's house behind me. I got a phone call. Those girls weren't trained.
Yeah.
Didn't have Narcan in their house. They called me, and I had to run over to their house and take care of it. It's an important piece that you guys do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every
So-
single resident gets trained.
what's funny, not about any of that, but what he just said is it saves you having Narcan training and Narcan around and stuff. That's actually what got me in trouble. Well, no, I got myself in trouble. My choices. But I had Narcan from the methadone clinic that I was at, and when I was pulled over the night that I got in trouble, the guy with me opened the glove box looking for my paperwork for the car.
Oh, no.
The Narcan
Narcan.
came out.
What do you have that
and,
for?
And
Yeah.
well, I told them ahead of time that
I
I
save
go to
lives.
methadone. I go to methadone clinic and they issue that. Well, they called that probable cause to search.
Wow.
Just because I had Narcan. So I'm talking with my lawyer about that. I don't know. But it's actually looking good. They're really happy with all my progress. The show here, I don't know if I brought that up. The show here is doing well for
No,
my
show,
my
but you did
stuff.
tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that makes me think when you were saying how you've had 2 overdoses and housemates have saved their housemates. What is like the biggest standout success story without naming, who, but like someone who came into the program and is just like, I want to say you're valedictorian, so to speak.
One guy does come to mind, actually.
See?
Yeah.
Don't laugh at my questions.
Yeah, so this guy,
Wasn't the question, you said
and I
valedictorian.
think it's just because I related to him so much. I mean, he was a young guy. He had the worst anxiety of like anyone I've ever met in my life. Maybe not ever met, right? But probably top 3 of residents coming in the house. I mean, he could not form full sentences in communication to you. He could not look at you
Oh wow.
like at all. I mean, he had to just look down, mumble, could barely talk. Right, dude. He did the work, man, and like he's improved so much because he was just so committed.
Yeah.
I mean, there was so much commitment, and it reminded me of me because like I had panic attacks in early recovery. I couldn't look people in the eye. Super anxious, super uncomfortable around other people. I mean, it was just really, really bad. And that's what drove me to do some work on myself, right? It wasn't that like, oh my gosh, I'm going to die. It was like, I have no idea how to function, you know?
Yeah.
So this guy he just put in so much effort and so much effort and so much effort. Still calls me today when he's like jammed up.
Oh,
which is,
yeah?
like, really, really cool. But
That's
now,
awesome.
he ended up becoming a house manager eventually. It took him a while, but he got there. Moved out with several of our residents. He works in treatment. I mean, like, you would never know it meeting him
Right.
today that he had that kind of anxiety.
That's good. I mean, I would never know that you did either.
Yeah.
Like, because I can't get you to stop looking me in the eyes.
I was the same way.
It's creeping me out.
No, I was the same way. Not to the necessarily the degree of like having your head down. I mean, but no, my neck is permanently bent because I had my head physically facing down.
Yeah.
That's how I was for the longest.
And you still have some issues forming sentences.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
But it's not that noticeable.
But it's not. It's because I get distracted easily. And
I
and I'm
know.
always looking for the next best thing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, you found it.
All the time.
It's right here.
Yeah,
It's
it's
right
right there. No, I asked you about blame from parents because I have a story moment or whatever similar to I lost a friend who I brought him to the West Coast to help him get away from his. Yeah, I know how retarded that is.
Yeah.
I see
Right
I see where this is
now.
going.
Yeah, I took him out of his.
Get away from those bad drugs over there. There's good drugs over here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I took him out of the Norfolk area because he had all these connections, and I took him to San Francisco with me, of all places.
Good choice.
And yeah, it turns out San Francisco has the biggest open air drug market in the country.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
It's right next to the fish
He
market.
sure did.
Fact.
Yeah. But he did really well for a while, and he's easily was my best friend for the longest time, and then he didn't.
Yeah.
And he went home, alive, and he overdosed. After cleaning up for a little bit, he was touch and go, but it was my fault.
Yeah.
It was 100, and I internalized that as my fault for the longest time.
Yeah.
But I remember his mom. I wasn't allowed to go to the funeral. It wasn't.
Oh, wow.
Still to this day, she's on my amends list. And
Yeah. What's that?
She's on my sorry list, which I know would kill you to hear that because you're not saying you're sorry.
I'm saying, oops.
But she held me responsible, because I was the reason I took him away too. I
Yeah.
took her baby boy away from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he went out to big old bad California, and came back messed up, I guess, in her mind.
Yeah.
And I internalized that for a long time. That messed me up. And so you connect really well with a lot of people, I know, especially the people in your houses.
Yeah.
How much is that weighing on you at all times? At a certain point, practically, you have to shed a little bit,
Yeah. Yeah.
Or molt.
I mean, I think a lot of people in this field burn out. It's like, so you talk to most social workers. I mean, it's so many of us. I mean, we just burn out, man. I mean, it's
or you
hard.
stop caring.
That's I mean, then you should probably get out of the fucking industry if you don't care.
Right.
But I think to be effective, like, there has to be, like, look, all I can do, and this goes for anything, man. All I can do is show up and do my best. Now when a guy relapses or something happens or whatever, I'll still look at, like, is there something that I could have done? Is there something that I could have shifted? But generally speaking, man, to be effective, I can't harbor every one of my, residents' success and failures.
Right.
I'll drink.
Yeah.
Excessively.
Yeah.
Yeah. You might even go back to the age.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah. Definitely that little crack rock around the corner.
100%.
So, from your point of view, why should I or anyone consider a 3/4 house?
We're not even a 3/4 house.
Oh.
Just a political correctness, like recovery residence, sober house, rather than like a halfway house.
Right.
Halfway house could be more prison oriented, but
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
so look, man. I mean,
Did you say prison oriented?
Yeah, because when you come out of prison, they go to a halfway house.
Oh.
And that's like when they're on parole or something.
Yeah.
So you're in a recovery residence.
recovery residence with a lot of structure and a lot of support. So
Just nonchalant about that. Sorry.
I mean, listen, it's proven that, engagement for long in some sort of treatment services or some sort of recovery-based services for a long period of time improves success rates. I mean, it's proven. There's plenty of statistics out about that, right?
Also quitting smoking.
Yeah, that also helps.
I heard that.
It's an absurd number too. It's like you have like a 40% better chance of like being sober for longer than 5 years if you quit smoking.
If you can quit
for 6
smoking in
months.
early recovery, my fucking hat's off to you.
Exactly. Like fuck that.
But you could probably just stop doing heroin on your own too.
Well, that's not true. But I'm quit. I've done 1 cigarette a week, and I'm in early recovery.
Let me know when you quit.
Take that hat off.
It's not undoable, but like it's one of those things. It's like also at the same time harm reduction.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. And they did spout that off at the program that I was in. They
It was a
harped
big
on it.
thing,
They were
yeah.
like, quit smoking too. I was like, screw you. I'm going out to the smoke shack. I got to get off this floor. I was in a hospital.
That's why I got kicked
You
out
have
because
2
my-
cigarettes in your nostrils right now. This is sir. So it's proven to work, man. And my personal belief, and maybe I'm a little biased, but recovery happens when you're out in the community and you're living life, and that happens at a sober house. You have some rules and some structure and some guidance and support and hopefully some really good accountability, but regular life is happening there, and that's where you need to learn these skills. That's where you need to have the support. It's easy to stay sober in a lockdown facility.
And I look at it as it is easy.
It's really easy.
Super easy.
Some people figure out a way to not. It's just impressive.
Yeah, well, and that's the addict in us is if we're not ready, and that's my firm belief is like
Did you just drink that hand sanitizer? Yes, I did.
I can't see anything, but I swear I didn't.
totally. Like
If you, I'm not
there's
even
lots of Navy guys that used to on the big boats when they would be in like the Middle East and didn't get their stuff. There's a way that they had to like filter it out. It wasn't like the Brita method, but it was through like t-shirts and into
yeah. No, you're good.
That's amazing.
I just read basically a blank sheet of paper.
Yeah, I know. I was like, don't worry about it. All right, so we're not going to tell people how to filter the hand sanitizer. That's why I stopped.
Can we not wrap up that way?
We're not
That
going
would
to do
be-
that. So first off, I mean, sorry. I know you were talking yourself down before we came on air. And you're like, I'm sure you've had some more interesting guests and stuff. I want to tell you that this has been like, I've really enjoyed this.
Awesome.
Because
I had fun.
I
It's
have,
great.
but I also didn't have much knowledge of the recovery houses and stuff. I went from, is he going to stab me? I went from program to a little bit of one, the VRQ, which is Veteran Restoration Quarters, and they do a 2-year per diem program from the government, but I was only there for 2 months before I got my housing voucher.
Yeah.
And so I'm doing the program, working groups, the rooms and stuff, and community, and this is helping me. But this is for my journey.
Yeah.
Knowing more about them, I mean, I would have probably been more.
I'm hoping you stay sober.
Not today. But
Great answer.
it has given me more insight and action actually for people that I know that are going through the same process. I know I have confidence in kind of guiding them toward that if it's a fit for them.
Yeah.
Because before I was like, I don't know much about it. Don't ask me. But you've helped inform me a lot about it, and I hope people are going to get some out of that here too, through our rambling today. But so you said you've never seen a podcast.
This is it. It's happening right now.
Right.
I have
Neither
now.
have
All right. Well, then that's good because we have something we do with every guest at the end of every cast. And that is we ask them 3 questions.
Go.
And since you've had no time to prepare,
Perfect.
this is perfect. So the 3 questions revolve around you have 24 hours left on this earth.
Mm.
You know, your higher power has come and told you, hey, tomorrow morning, you got 24 hours. Can't tell anybody about it. The 3 questions say, where would you go?
Mm.
Who would you see? Or what would you do?
Or who'd you see / be with?
Yeah. And what would your parting message to the world be?
And you can get to anywhere you want with anywhere you want, like once.
Yeah.
So like
Okay.
you could like
I can fucking teleport.
Teleportation.
you can go to Thailand with people.
It's probably not
Okay.
if you 24 hours. It depends on if you want to throw your sobriety
Oh,
away for 24
man.
hours.
Yeah.
Oh man, that'd be a terrible answer, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I would smoke so much. No.
I gave it. Listen, I'm still sick,
Hey.
but
hey,
part of the program
no
is
judgment.
being honest, and I gave an honest answer.
And I traded my teleportation for like not dying, because that would be. I guess it doesn't matter. I'm not in 24 hours. So.
Right? Yeah.
Nick was told he had 24 hours. Like, I gotta find that card. Where's that business card? All right. So where would you go? Where would you
So
go?
I wouldn't do that. I definitely wouldn't do that. Good. I would be with my wife and my kid. You know, I would definitely be with them. I don't know where we would go. There's so many amazing places, but I can't think of like one specific thing
Okay.
that I would rather do right before dying. You know,
Wherever they want.
I mean, in all honesty, like I would love to just be outdoors somewhere, like in the mountains and South America or something, and just go on a hike and have a picnic and
That's a place.
Hopefully not run across a poppy field.
maybe run across one poppy, just one poppy plant.
All right. What's your message to the world?
Oh, yeah, it's like a megaphone. Like you can. It's like
It's a megaphone to the world.
So, or it's like oh my god, I just had a big brain fart. Who's the bad guy in Harry Potter?
Voldemort.
Voldemort. So it's like Voldemort. You know, when he speaks to everybody, but he's in their head.
Talking to all of you.
Yeah.
Do I have to do it in
Yes,
that voice?
Yes. Give me the boy who lived.
Wow, that was really fucking good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's chilling.
Holy shit.
Chilling. Really.
You're welcome.
I mean, I would probably tell everyone to stop taking themselves so seriously. It's not that big a fucking deal.
Yeah.
Relax.
That's similar to
Yeah.
what I said.
Similar, except for the place and process.
Yeah, no.
But
Not at all.
that's awesome. Yeah, because that's kind of like the way I've had to start living life is stop taking everything so fucking seriously.
Yeah. And personally.
Personally.
How dare they?
That person cut me off because they hate me.
Yeah. Like,
Son of
well,
a
this
bitch.
is really, I mean, that's
It goes through our
that's the
heads.
source of our problems,
Yeah.
especially as addicts and alcoholics.
Yeah.
Just take everything so personally and seriously.
And just heavy and So on that note, thanks for coming in, Neil.
Thanks for having me, guys. This was
Yeah.
great.
This was oh yeah.
Oh.
I forgot. I'm usually the ad.
Yeah.
demon.
Can you do the ad gremlin?
Oh, he doesn't. All right.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. And where are we?
What?
Oh, he's playing coy.
I'm playing coy.
We're at Broken Helm.
Let's let me do it because that's my shit.
All right,
Yeah.
you go ahead and do it.
We
You
are.
play the ad, David.
Yeah.
We're at Broken Helm.
Yeah. This is the Jester Day cast. We are on Spotify. We are on Apple now.
Ooh, we
Apple
made it.
Podcasts. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a bastard to do, by the way.
I just like whispering into the microphone.
know. I
I've
really-
discovered now.
We are on Stitcher.
He said
And
whisper echo.
SoundCloud, and we have a YouTube channel for the video that comes out. We are scheduled to talk to Matt Nannis
Ooh.
next week. I almost like. I'm
I
not
like
supposed
that
to-
guy. He's
yeah.
cool.
I thought he said Matt McConaughey.
Yeah, he runs a business
cool.
That would have been cooler. But
Yeah. Sorry, Matt Ennis.
You guys done?
sorry.
Matt Dennis. Dennis. Nanner Manor runs a business
Bananartus.
where he takes addicts out into the wilderness and leaves them to die.
Which he's actually done that for
Yeah.
our house.
And
so-
he's
and
great.
he's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
he's
awesome.
Yeah, he takes them out to the wilderness and does. I don't know exactly what he does, and that's why he's gonna be on the show. Because I'm pretty sure he's told me, and I didn't pay attention.
Yeah.
like everything else I do.
Again. Okay, so I'm looking forward to that. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Absolute
be here.
pleasure. I'm very surprised. I was not looking forward to it. No. This has been the Just for Today cast. On behalf of Scott, who's producing today. We're changing up jobs. I'm going to be producing one time too, so get ready for another nightmare. That was horribly disturbing. On behalf of Nick, Scott, Neil, I'm JP, and this was the Just for Today cast.
Good night.